I thought I was chronically online, but it's just come to my attention that there's a TikTok drama going around because a 25-year-old attended my concert and was basically complaining that there were too many tweens there, I was making too many brain rot jokes, and she just thought it was a cringe concert. And also she was body shaming me, and it's kind of started a massive body shaming hate train directed towards me on a lot of videos of me on the internet right now, which is...
He then clears some things up.
I totally respect people having opinions, but I am a 20-year-old artist, freshly 20. And if you're 25 years old and you're gonna come to my concert and not expect people younger than you to be there when I, the artist, am 5 years younger than you, it's just a skill issue. Also, like, the jokes thing, like, you had to have known about my online presence before coming to my concert. I mean, anyone who knows me knows I've never uttered a serious word in my life. And also, I make jokes for 5 minutes of the concert and the rest is music. Like, live a little, enjoy life.
A 20-year-old musician is being called too cringe to watch, but what he exposed about the fan who started it all is far more shocking. This is the story of how a viral takedown didn't just backfire, it unearthed a dark side of online criticism that no one saw coming, revealing a bitter clash between two different generations of music fans. Before the drama, there was just Shane Michael Boos, a kid from New York City making music in his bedroom. Under the name Sombr, he crafted a unique blend of indie rock and dreamy pop, filled with raw lyrics about heartbreak and growing up. He wasn't a product of a major label machine. He was a self-made artist who found his audience in the most authentic way possible in the modern age, online. His tracks started gaining traction, resonating with listeners who craved something real. Then TikTok got a hold of his music and everything exploded. Suddenly, Shane wasn't just a bedroom producer anymore. He was a viral sensation, signing a massive deal with Warner Records and being hailed as the next big thing in indie pop. But with that meteoric rise came a new level of scrutiny, and Sombr was about to walk into a storm he never anticipated. It all ignited from a single spark, an 8-minute TikTok video posted by a 25-year-old concert goer named Megan. She had gone to a Sombr show expecting a night of indie music, but what she claimed she experienced was, in her words, one of the worst experiences of my life. Her video was a scathing review, a warning to anyone over the age of 16 to steer clear. She described the venue as being overrun with teenagers, comparing the atmosphere to a middle school dance. Her main grievance, however, was with Sombr himself. She took aim at his onstage banter, labeling his jokes as pure brain rot and unbearably cringe. But Megan's complaints went deeper than just a few awkward jokes. She meticulously dissected Sombr's entire performance, slamming one of his signature concert gags where he FaceTimes fans' toxic exes to confront them live on stage. To her, this wasn't fun crowd interaction. It was a deeply egotistical display that made her so uncomfortable she claimed she had to leave the show early. The video was raw, detailed, and brutally honest from her perspective. It quickly went viral, racking up views and comments. For a moment, it seemed like a devastating blow to the young artist's burgeoning career. The narrative was set. Sombr was an immature performer whose shows were only for kids. What happened next, however, would shatter that narrative completely. As the negative comments piled up, the world waited to see if Sombr would even respond. Most artists would have let it blow over, but Sombr wasn't most artists. He had built his career on being direct and unfiltered, and he wasn't about to change. He fired back with a TikTok of his own, not with anger, but with a calm, almost surgical precision. He acknowledged the drama, admitting he was chronically online, but was still taken aback by the intensity of the criticism. Then, point by point, he began to turn the tables on his accuser, starting with an argument so simple and obvious it was almost brilliant. He looked straight into the camera and laid out the facts. He was a 20-year-old artist. The fan who was complaining was 25. He questioned why a woman 5 years his senior would attend his show and be shocked to find a crowd filled with people his age and younger. He didn't call her old or out of touch. Instead, he deployed a quintessential Gen Z term that cut deeper than any insult. He called her complaint a skill issue, a blunt dismissal that framed her negative experience not as a flaw in his performance, but as her own failure to understand the environment she was entering. The comment section erupted, but the real bombshell was still to come, and it was a revelation that shifted the entire story from petty online drama to something far more serious. Sombr revealed that the criticism wasn't just about his jokes or his young fan base. He accused Megan of actively body-shaming him in her video. He claimed her comments had kicked off a massive body-shaming hate train against him, with countless users now flooding his videos with cruel remarks about his appearance. Suddenly, this wasn't about a bad concert review anymore. It was about a young artist being subjected to a vicious, widespread campaign of personal attacks, all sparked by one person's viral video. With the emotional stakes raised, Sombr continued his defense. He addressed the cringe jokes head-on, arguing that anyone who followed him online knew exactly what his sense of humor was like. His online persona was built on being unserious and self-deprecating. He told his followers that he's never uttered a serious word in his life, and that his brand of brain rot humor was part of the package. He suggested that it was unreasonable for someone to attend his show without having any awareness of his well-established online presence. The concert wasn't a separate entity. It was an extension of the personality his fans had come to love. He then put her criticism into perspective, breaking down the structure of his own show. He claimed that the jokes and crowd interaction she found so offensive took up at most 5 minutes of his entire set. The rest of the concert, the vast majority of it, was dedicated to what everyone was there for: the music. He was an artist, a singer, and a musician first and foremost. To have his entire performance judged on a few minutes of lighthearted banter felt deeply unfair. He wasn't just defending his jokes, he was defending his art. In the midst of dismantling her arguments, Sombr took a moment to make a powerful, overarching statement about his community. He declared his concerts a safe and inclusive space for absolutely everyone. He passionately stated, "Every age, sex, sexuality, gender, race, everyone is welcome at my concert." He framed his shows not just as musical events, but as gatherings for a community that he cherished. He then sent a direct message to his online haters, urging them to find genuinely problematic people to focus their energy on, because, as he put it, he was just existing. It was a plea for reason in an often unreasonable digital world. And just when everyone thought the saga had reached its conclusion, Sombr dropped one final, shocking detail that recontextualized the entire night. He revealed that during the very show Megan had criticized so harshly, he had been performing while suffering from a high fever and a severe case of bronchitis. He wasn't just having an off night. He was pushing through a serious illness to avoid disappointing the hundreds of fans who had paid to see him. He made it clear that his dedication was absolute, stating he would only ever cancel a show if he were on his deathbed. The revelation was the final devastating blow to the criticism, painting him as a dedicated performer who gave his all even under the worst of circumstances. This intense clash between Sombr and his critic has come to represent a much larger cultural conversation. It's a story about the widening gap between Gen Z artists who were raised on internet culture and older audiences who grew up with a different set of expectations for live music. For artists like Sombr, their online persona isn't a marketing tool. It's an integral part of their identity. The stage is just another platform for the same unfiltered, meme-heavy personality they show online. This incident forces us to ask, should artists be expected to code switch for different audiences, or is it on the audience to know what they're signing up for? Lost in all the noise of the online feud is the fact that Sombr is a genuinely talented and successful musician. His debut album, I Barely Know Her, was co-produced by the legendary Tony Berg, a man known for his work with indie rock royalty like Phoebe Bridgers. This isn't just a kid making catchy TikTok tunes. This is a serious artist with credible industry backing, who has crafted a unique sound that blends raw vulnerability with incredibly infectious pop rock hooks. His success isn't just anecdotal. Singles like Back to Friends and Undressed have done more than just go viral. They've achieved significant chart success across the globe. In the wake of the controversy, Sombr has continued on his massive international tour, the Late Nights and Young Romance Tour, playing to sold-out crowds of passionate fans in multiple countries. The drama hasn't derailed his career. If anything, it has solidified his bond with his loyal fan base, who see him as an authentic voice for their generation. Ultimately, the Sombr concert controversy leaves us with a lingering and complex question about the future of live performance in the internet age. In an era where fame is forged in the chaotic fires of TikTok, who gets to set the rules for what is acceptable on stage? As more and more artists bring their unapologetically online selves into the real world, the debate over what constitutes a great performance is only going to get more intense. And for Sombr, it's crystal clear that he plans to keep doing things his own way, building his community one cringe joke at a time, whether the critics understand it or not.